This morning, I'm going to ask one of those seldom asked questions. So you might have heard this from a member or not. I don't hear it from a member, and it was a question I didn't ask. But the question is, do I have to be vulnerable when I'm using social media? So, hi, I'm Lucy, and I help female network marketers to expand their team and scale their business online. The reason that I'm looking at this subject today is because this was a big learning curve for me when I came onto social media. I had been working very much offline in my business and had done that for many, many years. It was just something I was comfortable with. I knew how to do it. Yes, I had got to a point where I wanted to be trying something different. Then lockdown happened and I had to force myself to come online and start to learn how to use these new skills that I'm now being taught from my coaches. So, one of the things that we are being taught and have been taught is to be vulnerable online. And by that, I mean it's a bit like reality TV, where it's the warts and all. It's the no makeup, it might be the tripping over, it might be you do a live and there's no sound, uh, and all of those sorts of things. That happened to me recently, in fact, today, and it's okay. That's life. It doesn't all flow perfectly. So here are some steps that you can take, because for me, certainly it wasn't a comfortable place to be sharing those things because I'm quite a private person. I don't like my personal life being out there, but it's something, the reason why to do it is to connect with your audience, to show that everything isn't all pristine and wonderful and amazing in your world. You are actually a real human and things go wrong. You do have struggles. Things do go down as well as up. And that is what is going to connect you with the person that goes, oh my goodness, the same thing has happened to me. She understands how I feel because she's been on that journey, and look at her now. So that's the kind of the process that you want to get to by sharing your story. So here's a couple of things I would suggest to do is to write out your story. Write it all out, literally, or record your story and then take bits of it. So you want to tell the whole story every time, but you want to take a little portion of that story. So as an example, when I found network marketing, I was at the very lowest point in my life. I had come out of a relationship after 7 years. I was living in London with my fiance, and he had started seeing somebody else. And however hard I had tried to get back to that kind of magical, nobody else in the room when we were together feeling, and I had really tried my hardest to get that back, and I was struggling so hard to make that happen again, to make him want that with me again. And it wasn't happening. And probably I was in that relationship 2 years longer than really was necessary, because I was just trying to get back to that and it wasn't happening. And it was hard. I came back from being away for a weekend, and it was a mutual friend of ours, and she said, did you realize that we went away together down to Brighton? And I said, no, I didn't. And everything sort of moved on from there. And we had a conversation, and the pain of having to leave and move out and move away from everything that I'd built up. I put loads of time and energy into making our flat into a house, because we bought the downstairs together, and we, the builders and I, did the house up. We put love and care and everything into it. And everything that I knew there, all of the work that I was doing at the Natural Health Centre, all of those things now were just falling away from me. And I moved out and I moved back in with my parents, and it wasn't a place that I wanted to be. So it was a really tough time for me, but it was a time where my friend, who had already started in a networking business, and she said, "Why don't you take a look at this?" And I could give her loads of reasons why I wouldn't. I was too shy. I was feeling very vulnerable. I had no self-esteem and very low confidence. But there were 2 or 3 things that I thought, actually, I need to take a look at this. And it was being around positive people, and it was helping people with their health and their weight. And so those and another thing were the 3 things that got me taking a look at this. And so I went up to London. I loved the feel, the energy that were coming from the people in the room. I loved the stories. And I thought, I probably can't do this, but let me get started and see how it goes. I really didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe I could do it, but I got started anyway. And now, over 20 years later, here I am, having been doing it for this long, moving now online, doing something new, learning new things, learning new skills. And as I say, one of those is just learning to be vulnerable and saying, life was rubbish for me at that point. It really was. I was heartbroken. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know who I was anymore. I didn't know where I was going in my life. That was the point I was at when I was showing this opportunity. And so somebody else might have been through something similar or be going through something similar. So as a leader, leading the way, it's not to say everything goes up, 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 and everything is wonderful once you get started, because it's not. There will be struggles, there will be trials, there will be learning curves, huge learning curves, a way of being, a way of talking, a way of presenting yourself. And that is the reality TV part of it. It's the warts and all parts of it. It's the tears. It's the frustration, as well as I did that. That came through. This person got started and they're doing really well. It's all of it. So the being vulnerable connects you with your audience. So why would you be vulnerable on social media? To connect with your audience. That's the reason. It's not because you want to, tell everybody your woes. There's a reason behind being vulnerable, and that is to allow those stories to touch people and to sit with them, and then they'll go, that's the person who will understand me because she's been through that already. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I hope that has given you value. And of course, do leave comments if you would like to share something. If you would like to direct message me, of course you can, absolutely no problem. There are links to the page that you can join, and you can become part of the community that is supporting me. And I have found these wonderful mentors to test me, to stretch me, to give me tough love. And that is invaluable. It feels horrible at the time, but it's invaluable. So if this helps and you would like the same kind of help, then do link with that page, and there you'll be able to get more all around these kind of subjects. So remember to take notes. Teach others. If there's somebody else you feel you want to share this with, please do, and then you will thrive, because the more we can help each other in this way, the more value we can give, then the better it is for absolutely everybody. So have an absolutely awesome day, and I will see you soon.